Okay, please let me know if there's any changes to being able to hear me. And let's get started in a comfortable seated position. Taking the time to use any props or to adjust your sitting position so that you can be comfortable. And then closing the eyes to bring your awareness and focus inward. And to the inhalation and exhalation of breath. And as you breathe, feel a settling into your sit bones, your legs, relax in the hip area. Release any tension in your feet. And bring awareness to the back of the body and to the spinal column. Elongating the spine. As you relax the shoulders, relaxing the arms and the palms of the hands. Bring your awareness to the facial muscles, relaxing the eyes and the cheeks. Relaxing the forehead and the space between the eyebrows. And refocusing your awareness at the breath. And perhaps being able to feel the whole body breathe, as if you're breathing through the skin. And from this place of attention and attunement to the breath, we'll begin gentle movement. You can open the eyes and allow the chin to drop down. And on the inhale, look up towards the sky. Exhale, chin down. Inhale, up. And a few times, waking up the neck area. And back to center, and now twisting over the left shoulder. And back to center and over the right shoulder. You can go at your own pace. And one more time. And now allowing the head to tip over to the left shoulder. If you'd like, you can move your right fingertips away. Just noticing that sensation through the right side of the neck. And back to center and to the other side. Left fingertips can move away. And one more time on both sides. Inch facing the crown of the, on top of the crown of the head, facing the sky. And on the inhale, stretching the arms, stretching the spine. And on the exhale, releasing. Four arms. Exhale, press together. Inhale. Exhale.
Vari, your mic is sort of crackling and coming in and out a little bit.
Okay. I'm not sure why that's happening, but I'm going to see if I can change that. And continue this movement. And let's see if I can get this working. So just a few more times. Okay, now it should work, I think. Huh. Okay. So I'm going to continue and hopefully it will. I don't know why it's not working, but I can see it's working a little bit better. Okay. So now let's shake the hands and arms. Shaking the hands, shaking the wrists, shaking the elbows, shaking the arms, and continuing to shake to energize the arms and hands. I'm going to do a little less demonstrating just to make sure that you can hear me correctly. I'm not quite sure why the microphone isn't working as well today. But just continue to shake the arms a few more times. Yes, I am. Yes, please. And then allow your arms to relax on your knees and take a moment just to feel the circulation through your arms and palms. So next we're going to bring both palms over the right knee and thigh. And rotate the torso. It's plugged in. So rotating the torso over the right thigh. Loosening in the low back area. And changing directions. Hopefully it's better. And then let's switch to the other side. Rotating your torso over the left thigh. And continuing to move. Loosening your low back. And in both directions. And then coming back to center. And let's bring the soles of the feet together, allowing the knees to move up and down in butterfly pose. Bringing circulation into the hip area. Waking up the inner thighs. And now we're going to do butterfly one leg at a time. So extending both legs along the floor. You can lean into your hands behind you. And let's tap the backs of the legs against the floor. And then bending the right knee and placing the right foot against the thigh or on top of the thigh for half butterfly. Allowing the right knee to move up and down to isolate movement into the right hip joint. Okay, can you close that window so I can see?
Yes.
And now we'll switch to the other side. Extending your right leg, bending your left knee, foot against the thigh or on top of the thigh, and moving the knee up and down. And bringing awareness and attention into the left hip joint. And then let's extend both of the legs just like we did before and tap the legs against the floor, waking up the hamstring muscles. And now coming into a kneeling pose to stretch the toes. So you can manually bring your pinky toe to tuck under. If it's too deep of a stretch, bring the weight forward into your hands. And the other option is to lift the knees off the floor. Now bringing the knees down and tapping the backs of your feet against the floor. Bringing circulation to the tops of the feet. And now you're on the hands and knees for our cat pose, rounding the spine, drawing the abdomen in, head relaxing down. Inhale, tailbone upward, chest forward, and eyes looking up. Continuing this movement. One more time. And now let's sink back into child's pose. Elbows and forearms relax, chest towards the thighs, head towards the ground. Breathing into the spine and the back. And then let's come on to the hands and knees. Coming next into a low variation of downward dog, hands reaching forward, and then leaning the spine and sit bones back as you stretch the spine and the arms. And chest and forehead towards the ground. And then let's sink back to the heels in child's pose and roll up into sitting. So next we're going to come into a twisting version of cat, which we haven't done in a while. So let's come onto the hands and knees, reach the right hand forward, slide the left arm and shoulder through. And if the arm and shoulder don't easily reach the ground, you can always put a pillow or prop under your left shoulder and head. The right hand can stay where it is, or it can reach upward to the sky. And now coming out of our twist and back into center, let's round the spine and then extend as you take a deep breath in. One more time, rounding and extending. Coming into a neutral position. And now we'll come to the other side of our twisting variation of cat. Left arm forward, right shoulder and arm through. And then deciding if you'd like to keep the left hand where it is or reach it upward to the sky. Once you're in position, focusing on the inhale and exhale of your breathing. And then let's bring the left hand down, unwind from our cat pose, round the spine, extend the spine. And you can rest in child's pose, or if you're ready, coming into downward facing dog, where we're stretching the backs of the legs and the spine, strengthening the shoulders. And slow, deep breathing. So next we're going to come into a low lunge on the right side. You can bend the knees and then step forward with your right foot, or you can just step the right foot forward, bringing the left knee down. And then looking forward. Fingertips can be on the ground, or if you prefer, placing one hand on top of the other, just above the right knee. Stepping into a forward fold next, stepping the left foot forward, feet hip width apart, knees soft, allow your head to relax, shrug your shoulders, and settle into a slow, steady breathing. As you allow for circulation to flow more easily to the upper organs and glands. So next we're going to step back with the right leg, coming to the other side of our low lunge, knee down, looking forward. And if you'd like, placing palm on top of palm, right on top of the left knee. And then we'll step back into downward facing dog. And there's always the option, if you prefer, to come into child's pose. Sometimes, depending on our energy, we feel like we have more energy to put into our practice, and sometimes we need more rest. And I'll leave that up to you to decide what you need. Next, we're going to come into a standing forward fold. So if you're in your downward facing dog, you can walk your hands to your feet. If you're in child's pose, you'll lift up into a standing forward fold. And this time, if you'd like, you can hold on to the elbows. Or if you prefer, keep the arms dangling forward, head hanging forward. And let's count 3 full breaths. If you're holding on to the elbows, release your arms. Press your feet into the floor, draw the abdomen in as you roll up into standing. So here in standing, we'll do a couple of standing poses, starting with goddess pose. So the feet are wide apart, heels are pointing inward, toes are pointing outward. And then we bend straight down into a wide squat. So we're going to lift into a standing. We're going to lift into standing, and then we're going to bend into a wide squat. And you're doing this at your own pace. And you're bending to the range that's available to you. And if you'd like, you can even stay in this as a pose, reaching the arms wide and then fingers pointing up to the sky. And then release into standing. And step your feet together. So next we're going to do some standing balancing poses, starting with stepping onto your left foot and lifting the right knee. Now you can always use the wall if that's helpful for you. Some of you might be able to do it without support. And we're going to continue to alternate from one side to the other. Really feel a downward energy that really allows you to strengthen the foot, the leg, and the hip muscles and hip joint. And in addition to that downward, think also of upward. We'll do an equal number on both sides. And now we're going to add some variations. So next time you're on your left foot, let's bring the right knee up. And then we're going to move the right knee outward. We've been doing this outward movement for a while. And you can reach your left arm outward. And then back to center. And switching sides. So now we're on our right foot, left knee up, moving the knee outward to the side, and right arm outward to the side. If you come out of balance, it's no problem. That's part of practice, is we're practicing balance. And coming back into center. So now we're going to get a little more movement in the hip area through a new exercise that we haven't done before. Feet hip width apart. We're going to shift our weight onto our left foot, bend the left knee, and we're going to bring our right toes in front. And then the right toes making a big step to the side and then back behind us, all while we're strengthening the left hip joint. Now we're going to cross over the right toes to the left side and then back. And now we're going to do the same thing with the left. Left toes in front, left toes to the left side, left toes behind us, all while balancing on the right hip. Left toes across to the right side and back to center. We're going to do that one more time on both sides. Right toes to the front, side, back, across, and center. And we're bringing movement into different areas of the hip joint. Now the left side, toes to the front, side, back, across, and back to standing. Good. So now we'll step the feet wide apart, a few more standing poses. So your feet are about the length of one leg, toes facing the front, hands on the hips. And as you're ready, take a breath in and hinging forward from the hips as far as you're able to come. And then releasing your hands, releasing your head. And this is a wide standing forward bend. And press your feet into the floor so you're inner thighs are active. Let's take 3 deep breaths. Now we're going to walk our hands over to our right foot, turn both toes to the right side, lower the left knee, and come into a lunge with the hands at the hips. Now we'll come to the other side, lifting your knee, walking your body back to center, then walking towards the left side, turning your toes, right knee down, low lunge with the hands on the hips. And then hands down, lifting your right knee, walking it back to center, and bringing your heels and toes so that they come back to hip width apart. Take a few deep breaths in standing forward fold. And slowly roll up into standing. And once we come up, let's reach the arms above the crown of the head. You can interlock your fingers, first finger and thumb together. And on the exhale, we're going to bend to the left side, stretching the right side of the body. And back to center, and now stretching to the right side, bending to the right and stretching the left side. And back to center, releasing your arms. We're going to do that hip exercise one more time, where we shift our weight to our left foot. You can always hold on to a wall for stability or support. Right toes in front as far as you're able, to the right side as far as you're able, behind you, across to the left, back to center. Now on the left side, left toes in front, to the side, behind you, crossing over, and to the front. Good. And then you're going to stand at the back of your mat, feet hip width apart, and we're going to roll down. Head down first, shoulders and upper back next. Curling down into your middle and low back. And then all the way down into a forward fold. Taking 3 deep breaths. And then walking the hands forward and coming down into child's pose. Knees touch down and sinking back to the heels, chest towards your thighs, head towards the ground. And then coming on to the hands and knees. Perhaps walking a little bit forward on your mat as we're going to practice a flow from plank into cobra and back into child's pose. So we'll start on the hands and knees, stepping the right foot and left foot back. So we're in a high push-up position, strengthening the arms and shoulders, making sure that your head is aligned with the spine and not hanging forward. And then you can bring the knees down or lower all the way onto the front of the body. And once you come onto the front, we'll come next into cobra. Hands under the shoulders, pressing the pelvis into the floor as you come up into a back bend. And then lowering the head and chest down and pressing back into child's pose, which counters our cobra. Now we'll do all of those again. Hands and knees, stepping back with your left leg and then your right leg, strengthening the arms and shoulders. Knees can come down first or lower all the way onto the front. Coming up into cobra. Lowering head and chest down and back into child's pose. And we'll do that twice more. So stepping into our plank pose, strengthening the bones. When we bear our own weight, it strengthens bones as well as muscles. Knees can come down first, lowering onto the front. You're coming into cobra to whatever range is available to your body. So it might look like something different than what I look like. Back into child's pose. And one last time. And this time we're going to add some variation. So we'll start with our plank pose. Lowering onto the front. And this time, elbows wide, palm on top of palm and forehead resting on both palms. Then you can bring your chin down on both palms and alternate your legs one at a time towards and away from the buttocks. And then relaxing both legs. You can turn your head to the right side as you hold on to the right foot with one or both hands as you press the heel towards you. And then we'll come to the other side, releasing your right leg, bending your left knee, head can turn to the left side. And then releasing your leg. And let's press back into child's pose. Resting here for about a minute. Breathing into the spine and the back. And rolling up into sitting. So we'll do a little bit of core work. Last week we did a exercise that I'd like to do again this week, a movement with the feet together, knees apart, interlocking the hands. On the inhale, we lean back and lift the legs. Maybe you'll be able to straighten the legs, or maybe you just bring the heels to the height of the knees. And on the exhale, we bring the feet down. We come back to our starting position. And then you move according to your own rhythm and with your breath. And if you'd like, you can also try this as a pose, staying in this position. And if you'd like, you can reach the arms outside of the legs, or to make it easier, hang on to the backs of the knees and bring the ankles to the height of the knees. So lots of options and variations so that all of us can participate to the extent that it works. And then let's bring the feet down, bring the knees wide apart, allow the abdomen and belly to relax. Taking a few breaths, core poses and movements, heat the body. You'll find this warmth. And now we're going to roll onto our backs. So coming to the front of your mat, hands can reach forward or be behind the knees as we slowly roll onto our back and spine. And once you get there, extend your legs, relax your arms and shoulders. Feel the floor beneath you. And take a few deep breaths. Coming next into bridge pose. So feet on the floor, hip width apart, walk your heels towards you. And as you breathe in, lift the pelvis upward towards the sky. And as you exhale, gently lower the spine and pelvis down. And continue this movement a few times. And next time you lift the pelvis, we'll stay here as a pose. You can reach your arms above the head, or you can interlock your hands underneath of the back. Lots of different options if you'd like to introduce some variation. Make sure your knees are moving towards one another rather than away from one another. And make sure we're engaging our inner thighs. And then slowly and gently lowering the spine and pelvis down. And bringing both knees into the chest. And just pressing the knees towards you. Feeling a broadening and opening of the low back. Holding onto your right knee as you extend the left leg upwards to the sky, and then lowering the left leg down to the ground. And keeping your left leg active, so your heel is along the floor, as if you're pressing your left leg into the floor. As you press your right knee towards you. Now we're going to guide the right knee over and across to the left side, extending the right arm and looking towards the right side. One knee twist. Unwind, coming back to center, press your right knee towards you. One more movement before we release the right leg. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, lift your nose or forehead towards your right knee. And then release your head down and release your right leg down. So we're going to do all of those now on the left side. So we're going to start by interlocking the hands behind, around both knees. So both knees to the chest. Pressing both knees close as you breathe into your back. And we're going to keep holding on to our left knee as we extend the right leg up to the sky and lower down to the ground, keeping the right leg active. And now we're going to move the left knee over and across to the right side. Extend our left arm, looking towards the left side. Coming back to center, keep holding on to your left knee. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, lift your nose or forehead to the knee. Release your head down, extend and release your left leg down. Take a few deep breaths. And we'll do one last pose before we settle into our relaxation pose. We haven't had a chance to do a squat. So we'll do an inverted squat. Knees to the chest. Open the knees wide. Allow your feet to face upwards to the sky. Knees can be bent. And you can hold on to your big toe or the outside edge of your feet. Or you can hold on, like I said before, to the backs of the knees. And notice what feels like it's stretching. Where do you feel that sensation of stretch? What else do you feel? And can you use your breath to allow the body to soften wherever you need to soften? And then releasing your feet, allowing your legs to relax along the floor, gathering any props that you need to be comfortable. Closing the eyes as you're ready. Bringing the awareness to the inhalation and exhalation of breath. and feel your feet. Bring your awareness into your toes and feet. Allowing your ankles to relax. Bringing the awareness into the legs. Thighs relax. Relax within your hip joints. So your lower body is relaxed. Feel the back muscles. Relax your back muscles. Release your shoulders. Relax your arms. Feel the palms of your hands. Feel breath moving the torso. Expansion and contraction of the belly and the lungs. Feel softness and relaxation in the area around your heart. Relax your throat. Relax the eyebrows and release any tension within the facial muscles. And feel breath through the nostrils. Visualize the light of the sun and the body absorbing the light of the sun. So now deepening your breath as you feel the earth beneath you, the sky above, and sunlight all around you and within you. As you deepen your breathing, wake up movement in your toes and ankles. Wake up your hands and wrists. And then stretch your limbs, waking up the spine as you stretch and release. Let's bring both knees to the chest and roll gently on the back from one side to the other. Roll onto your right side and come up into sitting. And taking a moment to sit in silence, to visualize light in the heart space, symbolizing peace and harmony, and offering this light for the well-being of all, not only those in our families and communities, but for all beings and all people in all parts of the world. Thank you for joining me for today's class and for your patience with these sound issues. I hope that you were able to hear and follow through class, and you're welcome to turn your microphones on.
Thank you so much.